3, 2, 1.
Greetings and good morning to all of our GBs worldwide, and welcome to the Glam Bachelorette show. I am your host, Pamela. Get right. We are now just a few episodes into our official relaunch. If you are a returning listener, welcome back. And if you are a first-time listener, thank you for stopping by. Here at the Glam Bachelorette, we center, celebrate, and explore the lives of successful and striving single child-free women. This includes travel, economy, politics, culture, finance, fashion, and everything in between. So if you enjoy what you hear here, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. We always welcome new members to the TGB tribe, and I know there's been quite a delay leading up to this episode, but we are officially in season 2. This is our fall season, okay? Please note that for a limited time, we are currently running a short poll for our listeners to let us know what topics you'd like to hear more about, so please feel free to participate. And if you have any comments or questions, you can now contribute those as well. So don't be shy. Please leave us some of your change, which is your 2 cents. So this is the first episode of fall, and this is, drumroll please, a WildCard episode. A Glam Bachelorette WildCard podcast episode is an episode where we just sort of jump from topic to topic or subject to subject without any segmentation. So going forward, WildCard episodes may happen at complete random throughout our upcoming seasons. So after this episode, please feel free to share with us which format you like most, WildCard or traditional. So without further ado, let's get into it. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, TNT, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. There's been much media talk and attention surrounding pop music icon Taylor Swift and recently single again NFL athlete Travis Kelce. Allegedly, Swift has been seen clapping it up in the VIP skybox at Kelce's games, and again seen holding Kelce's hand as they walked either before or after said games. Alongside this is the reported news as covered by CNN that Travis Kelce official jersey sales have went up 400%. His Instagram followers have went up by an unbelievable 900,000 followers, and Kelce's affiliated podcast show hosted with his brother is now number 1. Now, needless to say, Taylor is making Travis look really good from a branding standpoint, but I'm not here to talk about Travis or anyone else that Swift may be dating. This is the Glam Bachelorette, okay? We center single child-free women, and Taylor is a GB, okay? So I like to talk about the more than $1 billion Swift may pocket from her Eras tour. The girl is working, and not just working, but creating her own Swift economy in every city she performs in. Taylor Swift fans, aka Swifties, have bought up everything, including plane tickets to catch the show more than once, tour merch, of course, and art supplies needed to make the now infamous friendship bracelets that her Swifties trade with other concert goers. And to add to this, the Eras tour has officially hit theaters as a concert film as of October 12th. And with this, analysts are predicting that the film could gross a whopping $150 million in its opening weekend. Yeah, so in terms of career, Swift is doing very, very well. And I think that when women are in their prime years, single, child-free, and successful, the years are critical. You don't want to allow yourself to be knocked off center or distracted by dating or anything else. And as a GB, I don't discuss, promote, or debate dating and marriage because this is all about the lives of single, child-free women. So ladies, please take advantage of every moment while you can. Place your goals at the center stage every day. This is how you reach the goal and build success. Hold on to your assets and continue to invest in your brand reputation. And saying this about Swift leads me to bring up another important aspect about, the single child-free woman's experience and how important it is for us to stick together and continue to be social and network and spend time together. So it seems that actress Sophie Turner is now divorced from Joe Jonas, and as a part of her healing journey, Turner was spotted out on the town with Taylor Swift. Now, I'm not really familiar with Sophia Turner, but I'm all for women sticking together, especially after a divorce. So, shopping dates, nail dates, travel, dinner, brunch and lunch spots, all of that, whatever you want to do, I think it's awesome for single child-free women to continue to spend time together, to network, to inspire and encourage one another. I love it. There are, quite a few things that I enjoy more than a girl gang. So GBs, hit up your crew and hit the town. If you don't have a crew, start with clubs, workshops, or events catered to your interests, and challenge yourself to meet at least 3 new people at the event, okay? 3 new people. If you're an introvert, I know how challenging that may be, but the more you get into your specific interests and in your professional endeavors in your lane and your education and things that you really want to do, the more likely you are to come across other like-minded women that are also single and child-free. So, I again think it's very important for single child-free women to engage and network and hang out, and I think it's awesome. And do you want to know one great event perfect for GB girl gangs to attend? Fashion Week. That's right. It's that fabulous time of year again for invite-only shindigs and runway shows celebrating the upcoming spring-summer 24 seasons. Paris Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week, and the soon-to-begin LA Fashion Week all prepared around the same 1 to 2 month spans and feature stellar collections by Mugler, Laquan Smith, and Balmain. I loved all of these designers' clothes, especially Balmain, who opted for all things in shiny patent 3D florals, pastels, and bright girly hues on chic cuts. You can head online to look at the season highlights and plan your spring-summer 2024 wardrobe. And speaking of Paris Fashion Week, Pamela Anderson made a fashion statement by attending the event, sans any makeup, not even eyeliner. Anderson, who is now 56 years old, got her early start in Hollywood as a blonde bombshell sex symbol on Baywatch, which was a TV series about lifeguards, before she ventured into posing for Playboy and dating bad boy rock stars and athletes. However, seeing Anderson without the glam is a welcome change of pace, and media outlet Bustle seems to enjoy seeing Pamela's natural beauty shine through. This simple act by Anderson is being interpreted as symbolic of a woman's choice to age with unabashed grace, to not succumb to societal pressure, being forever young. For me, though, it's not about being, quote unquote young forever. It's about aging well and continuing to exude style, class, luxury, and sophistication. So ladies, do you all think no makeup at a red carpet event should be the new normal? Why or why not? Like, share your perspective. I know some ladies are not really into makeup just as a general rule, while others are really into, the full glam look. I think that we're living in a time now, especially where women are a bit more expressive in terms of their personal style, and the sky is the limit in terms of how you want to show up, what you want to do versus what you don't want to do. And I always am going to support a woman's choice to do whatever she wants. But if I had to include my opinion, I think just for a red carpet type of vibe, I would prefer to go full-fledged glam. Now, mind you, I do not wear a full face of makeup on just a day-to-day. I might do like light foundation, maybe a little bit of bronzer, blush, and a lippy. And if I wear my eyelash extensions, I don't do much eye makeup just in general. However, I do sincerely appreciate a full-on glam makeup look, especially when I'm talking about attending a red carpet event. So I don't know. I mean, for me personally, I would go with a glam look, but if Pamela Anderson and I feel like doing that, she's free to not do that. I think she looks great either way. I am still partial to a full glam look. But ladies, sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear your perspective. And speaking of a woman's right to choose how she shows up in the world, Doja Cat, okay? Creativity or controversy, or a little bit of both. So, recording artist Doja Cat recently released her new album entitled Scarlet in late September of this year, alongside her hit single Paint the Town Red, which I love. Coming down from her commercial success and Grammy win for Kiss Me More, which was her collaboration with SZA, Doja clearly has zero plans of slowing down her creative streak. While Paint the Town Red recently became rap's first #1 record in 2023 on Billboard's Hot 100 chart, Doja has met her fair share of recent controversy, both for her attire and social media posts. From colorful hair extensions down to a buzz cut, from sexy and scantily clad outfits to dark or weird ensembles, and a F-off attitude towards fans, supporters of Doja Cat don't know what to do with themselves. At some point, Doja came under fire for appearing to sympathize with racists. Doja wore a shirt featuring an image of Sam Hyde on its front to heavy criticism from supporters. So much so that Doja deleted the pic of herself wearing the shirt. Some mostly male fans have even posted that they missed the old Doja, along with older pictures of the starlet at a time where she was more, I want to say, aesthetically in line with other women MCs such as Nicki Minaj or Meg Thee Stallion, where femininity meets showing tons of skin and hip and booty gyrations designed to titillate and seduce male viewers. In other words, sex apparently still sells. And while sex may sell, does artistry? Racism allegations and rumors aside, can Doja be appreciated simply for being Doja? Now, don't get me wrong, if something serious is going on with Doja, by all means, call it out if you must. But as a GB, I must say that one of the joys is definitely the freedom of not having to fit ever so neatly into a man's desire, expectation, or requirements of you. To dress how you want, speak what you want, and do what you want. And I just see Doja taking full advantage of this. Plus, she's an artist. Creativity is her thing. That's kind of how I see it. But again, I would love to hear your perspective on that. If you are a Doja fan, if you're not a Doja fan, why or why not? If you are familiar with recent controversy surrounding Doja, where do you stand in the midst of this conversation? I would love to hear your perspective. And now we're going to go into a little bit about business. No funding for Black women-led businesses. A grant program has been blocked. And recently launched grant funding program designed to assist women entrepreneurs of color has seemingly been sabotaged. The Fearless Fund, which is a Black women-owned venture capitalist firm, has been temporarily blocked from continuing its funding services to mostly Black women entrepreneurs. The announcement comes following a nasty injunction filed by the American Alliance for Equal Rights, asserting that the grant violates Section 1981 of the U.S. Code, which guarantees equal rights for all people to make and enforce contracts within the jurisdiction of the United States, without favor or discrimination based on race. As a result, U.S. Appeals Court judges voted 2-1 to grant the motion for injunction. The decision overturns an apparent lower court ruling last week that found the grant could continue because the funding was protected by the First Amendment. Now, something to note here, the founder of the Alliance Group is none other than Edward Bloom, who also played a critical role in the recent Harvard University affirmative action dismantling. It's also interesting to note both judges who granted the injunction were appointed by former President Donald Trump, and Judge Charles Wilson, who dissented, was appointed by former President Bill Clinton. In his dissent, Wilson said he would have denied the Alliance's motion for an injunction and urged appellate judges to take caution when intervening with decisions, quote-unquote, withheld by the lower courts. Wilson, who implored judges to consider the context of the Civil Rights Act of 1866, noted the law granted freedmen basic economic rights, and that Congress enacted 1981 as the remedial mechanism for bringing these protections to life. And I quote, "It is a perversion of congressional intent to use 1981 against a remedial program whose purpose is to bridge the gap in venture capital funding for women of color founders, a gap that is the result of centuries of intentional racial discrimination," he wrote. "The irreparable harm that will result from the granting of this injunction will not be felt by AAER. Black women will suffer irreparable harm." So this to me is interesting. From both a race and gender perspective, being as though women collectively do not occupy even half of the CEO owner seats in top companies. So when you add specifically Black women to this convo, the percentage of ownership goes even lower. And we need more women business owners, and we need more women business owners to have capital funding. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If the funds do not or will not derive from traditional bank loans or commercial loans, alternatives like this are very much needed. And we need more women in business, and we need more women to succeed in business. This is not the best of news. This is kind of, it kind of sucks. But I do hope for the best outcome that benefits the organization and its women entrepreneurs. There has to be some sort of legal loophole here. I don't really see this as being that big of a difference when compared to scholarship opportunities that are available to women of color or Latin women or Jewish women or single mothers. I just don't really see how this is, being discriminatory when it's something that is really, really needed. And the first ever breast cancer vaccine is now in its human clinical trial phase. The vaccine is meant to prevent the recurrence of triple negative breast cancer, which makes up about 10 to 15% of all breast cancers and is particularly challenging to treat. That's because the cancer cells in this case don't have estrogen or progesterone receptors or enough of the protein called HER2, which is what most effective breast cancer treatments target. It's also one of the most aggressive forms of breast cancer since it grows quickly and has a higher rate of reoccurrence. In fact, the risk of cancer recurring within 5 years of being diagnosed is nearly 3 times higher in patients with triple negative breast cancer than in those who don't have that type of breast cancer. Jennifer Davis, who is a mom of 3 as well as a registered nurse, is the first person in the world to receive the vaccine as part of the clinical trial. Davis was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer in September of 2018. Her cancer treatment at the Cleveland Clinic started soon after that, where it involved having a double mastectomy as well as several rounds of chemotherapy and radiation. Once Davis got the approval to participate in the trial, along with 15 other women, she received 3 injections, each one spaced 2 weeks apart. And I quote, "They did lab work prior to every injection," she says. "I had no side effects except for lumps at the injection site. It was just like any other vaccine or shot that you get." Davis, who had 2 follow-up appointments as part of the trial and still goes to Cleveland Clinic for her checkups, received her last dose of the vaccine in November 2021. And so far, the cancer has not come back. "It's changed my life," Davis says. "I don't think about recurrence every single day." Ultimately, the goal is to develop a vaccine that could prevent breast cancer in people who are at risk. Amit Kumar, who is the chairman and chief executive officer of Anixa Biosciences, which is licensed to create the vaccine being tested by Cleveland Clinic, says that 42% of women with triple negative breast cancer will get the cancer again within 5 years. That's crazy. But he points out the vaccine is still in its early stages of human testing. And I quote, "We want to do the proper studies and make sure that it's safe," he says. "You've got to make sure there are an incredibly small number of side effects." Still, it's hard for people like Kumar and Davis not to think about what it would mean to have an effective breast cancer vaccine. If we could just have women get 3 shots and eliminate cancer, triple negative cancer, and eventually breast cancer, that would be amazing, says Kumar. It would also change the way cancer research is done. And this is a big one. I personally have not been affected by breast cancer, thank God, but I know there are a lot of women that are continuing to be affected by that. They've lost loved ones or may know someone that is battling breast cancer. So this to me is incredible news. When I came across this article, I knew that I definitely wanted to include it here on the podcast. And again, I want to hear from you all. If you have not heard about this, please Google it, breast cancer vaccine. Follow the progress that they're making with the clinical trials. And I'm hoping that this is something that will not just be effective to treat triple negative, but I'm hoping that it eventually will be something that will treat all forms of cancer in the body, which I'm sure we may be a few years out from that even being a thing, but this is a step in the right direction, and I think it's crucial and it's a big deal. And shout out to the amazing team that's leading this and that is doing this, and I wish Miss Davis the best in her healing journey. I hope that you enjoyed listening and learning in today's episode. Don't forget to comment, share, like, subscribe, share with us your questions, and stay tuned for more. We have plenty on the horizon. Also, let us know if you like the open format WildCard episode. I know I was just kind of jumping topic to topic. That's kind of like, how the WildCard episode works. And until next time, GBs, stay happy, stay blessed, and always, always stay glamorous.
Hear more by visiting the Glam Bachelorette podcast.